Hello, friends. How are you? I'm so excited because I am with Christina Manich, and she is one of the wonderful people I met through YouTube and then on Instagram. And I helped her to just push her a little bit to start sharing her voice, her beautiful meditations in the online world. And I want to bring her into this space because I think she's very inspiring. She is a holistic health coach and she has a wealth of knowledge inside of her. But when I met her, she was a little bit hesitant, like, shall I share it? Do I know enough to share it with the world? And also also the other side, the technical setup. So there are so many things that block us from start using our voice, guiding our meditations with the world, and putting our knowledge out there. So I want to bring her as a source of inspiration for the ones that are still hesitant. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm very happy, to be part of your podcast and part of your journey as well. And yeah, thank you also very much to help me to give me a little push in the beginning. It's right. To get self-employed is a huge mountain to climb. So sometimes we need a little push to get started and to leave back our fears or our doubts that we have.
Can you share a little bit of what you do today as a holistic health coach? Who do you help? How do you help them? So for others to understand better your.
So I started with private clients, with coaches, and I do really love this work. So people come to me with different issues. One may come with migraine, another will come maybe who want to lose weight, or maybe there's somebody who feels stressed all the time. So everything around stress management. And right now, I'm extending a little bit the range of with who I'm working, because I recently started to offer also programs for companies. Like corporate health management programs. So to help companies to support the health of their employee. And I'm just getting into it, so it's super new, but I really do love it as well, because I think that's one of the greatest issues with health we have during a day is our working health issue. So I see there a great potential, to get better and to improve.
Thank you for sharing that. When did you have the calling to start sharing your meditation? That's the most common thing you share on your YouTube channel. The content that you focus on nowadays, as you said, like meditations for headache. I think that's one of the most popular right now.
Yeah.
When did you have the calling? Like, okay, I can have my clients one-on-one, but I also want to have a space, like a platform where I can share it like with a broader audience. When was that calling? And what were the blockers you had?
So I have to say, like when I did my study of naturopathy, like natural medicine, I always imagined myself having praxis, a space somewhere where I could treat also manually the patients I get. But for a certain reason, I didn't know why the image of having a physical room while treating people didn't fit to me perfectly. And last year, when I bought my camper van to build up my camper van, I was like, well, it would be super nice to work in the health sector, but I don't know how I could combine traveling more and working in the health sector. And then at a certain point, I got the idea, okay, well, I could work online. There are so many people out there that also travel, that work online, or that having maybe a stressful day with family, with children, with work. They maybe don't even want to sit in a car again in the evening, driving somewhere to get treated and then driving back. So there started my idea of having an online business to help people online. I also got the idea, okay, now I have to be also present online. And that was a great issue because I'm not the one you will find a lot in photos or videos, like within my family photo folder or something. Like, I'm not the typical person that would post somewhere or something like that. So that was super new for me. I didn't even have Instagram till last year. I never had something like Snapchat, or I'm not the social media person. I didn't even have a YouTube account. So that was super new. And in the beginning, I didn't even know where to start. I didn't even know what equipment I need, how to make a post on Instagram or something. So I really started from zero. But yeah, so that came like at the end of last year. And then when I felt like sitting in a forest with no idea where to go, that's where I found you. When I was looking for how do I record meditations on YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a keyword.
Yeah, that was the keyword. And so I found you, and I really liked your channel. And I also had a look on other things. I was like, great, Riverside FM, never heard of that, but looks super. Or your I actually also got Canva by a video from you. So all of these things were new for me. I never heard of them. I never had to do with them. And yeah, that's how it started.
And what helped you to start sharing your voice and to do it? Because I think you got into a nice rhythm of creation. And I feel like now you are more into, it's more natural for you. Of course, it's a journey and it's like never ending, but what helped you?
Yeah, definitely. Still remembering myself that, of course, everything you start is difficult in the beginning, and that it will get easier with the time, and it will get better with the time. The second thing was that, for example, following you and also one, two other persons on Instagram or YouTube that also got started at a different point, and I saw them growing. They started before me, so they were already more advanced, but I saw also how they were improving. I saw how your YouTube channel was growing, and that was like, okay, I won't make an Instagram or a YouTube account, and from today till tomorrow I have 200,000 followers. Of course, it doesn't work like that. That's maybe the mindset we have when we make ourselves independent, that we see all these successful YouTubers, podcasters, and we see they have 200,000 followers, and that we are either thinking, oh, I will never get there, or when we start, that it's like, oh my gosh, I just have 10 followers, and tomorrow it's just 10, still 10 or 11 or something like that. So being patient was or is one of the things I am still learning, like I'm still improving in. And yeah, being kind with myself and just saying everybody who is now very successful, who has now a lot of followers, a lot of clients, and a really good strategy, a really good program, whatever it is, that didn't came overnight.
Yeah.
They also started. They also had a time with just 1 follower or 10 followers or 20 followers.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think also it's to understand what we are doing, like, because I always say that we are not entertainers. So like these kind of channels that are living out of entertainment, and like they need a big number of people and clicks and views because that's their business model. And for us, it's more about our clients. So even if I still have smaller accounts, so it's not like super huge, but still, like, let's say if from 1,000 subscribers, then 10% of them or 20% of them are my clients and come to my workshops and work one-on-one. For me, it's wonderful. Like at this point, sometimes I ask myself, like, oh, maybe I'm not ambitious enough, but I'm happy and I'm fulfilled, and I'm okay with this. Of course, we all have the idea and the wish that our project and our message expands, but it's also a question of like how much do you want to expand? Because also if we reach a point that, as you say, like 200K, you also need to think about hiring a community manager and hiring
Exactly.
people, and then it's overwhelming. I think also for people who are highly sensitive to all the stimulus of all the messages and all the people asking you things and all that. So it's also a question mark, like how big you want to grow. If you are willing to invest in a community manager, go ahead. But otherwise, you will have a lot of people replying and like a lot of, notifications. And at least for me, when it's a lot, it gets overwhelming. So I think it's really personal, right? But yeah, I just wanted to make this known.
Yeah, definitely. It's good that you mentioned that, because I also came at the point where I was like, okay, do I want to have like so many followers? Do I want to have so many messages I have to respond? Even sometimes I need a lot of time sometimes to answer my private messages, because I would
Exactly.
like to take the time. I don't like to do it in a rush or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, no, I think I wouldn't want that. And me, for myself, for the future, at least for the right now, I don't see hiring somebody. But actually, I also have to say I'm still just part-time self-employed. Like, I'm on the point of getting full-time, hopefully soon. I'm still like, yeah, I still need some more clients to do the step into a full-time self-employment. But I think if that's the case, as you say, I would be happy. I would be happy to spend my time, my day with the things I love. I don't need thousands of followers for that. If I have, as you said, 1,020 of them are my clients, that's super. That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that approach. And also I wanted to ask you, like, how do you feel when you share some meditations and people listen to them? Have you had like the experience that someone texts you like, I heard this one. I think you produce them in German. Do you have some people coming to you and like telling you how is that feeling of like fulfillment of like you helped me? And I think that's the purpose. At the end, that's the purpose, not
Yeah.
not the followers, but like the really people who.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely. Like, I also do like personal meditation. So I record for my coaches specific meditations for their topics. And the feedback I get from these is super great, super nice. And for the YouTube channel, it's still pretty small, but the feedback I got there also makes me super happy. Of course, every feedback we get is great, right? So I still also have my family, and when I post something new, mostly they will also check on it, my friends. So I also get definitely feedback from them, good feedback, like where I could maybe do something better, things really liked a lot. So that helps me also to improve. Not to just sit afterwards and guess what I could do better and guess what I did good, but to really actually get some feedback. So that helps me a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, and sometimes I feel like, I don't know if it's because we are women or it's just our personality, because we tend to be a little bit more on the introspection, spiritual side, but we tend to study a lot and learn a lot and do a lot of offline things. And then when we step into online, it's like, oh, am I ready or not? And then there is on the other side, it's kind of people who are super extroverted or super confident, or again, I don't know if it's about the gender, but some these men of like, you have to do this and that, and they are so confident about what they are saying. And sometimes I feel like, wow, like they are so confident, and some of them like really they don't have any background. And what I feel is like we need to find this balance of speaking of our projects and our knowledge with more confidence, especially us as women who are creating and who are studying and who are already hosting and facilitating a lot of offline events. And we have a lot of offline work, and just bringing it naturally and organically into the online world, because we really have substance. So
Yeah.
that's the vision of everything that I do. I want more of this, like wise women using their voice more online, because they have a treasure inside of them. So
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. And the female approach is different from the male approach. Of course, as a woman, we also have the male energy inside of us, and we can feel it. Like I can feel it during my cycle. Other times where I'm maybe lacking this male energy, and I don't really want to go outside today and do a podcast episode, especially maybe with a video. So help ourselves by getting to know the times in which it is easier and times other things are getting more difficult, to adjust to our inner cycles we go through. But I think right now a lot of women feel this inner call to go outside, and they might ask the same questions like we did, right? How can I do that? Am I able to do that? But we are living in a time where the female energy gets back again, gets stronger again, and what we see, like the issues that women have, according to me, is because these are still issues that came from a collective trauma that women suffered in the last centuries. So these questions we have, am I good enough, especially as women? There are also men suffering with that a little bit in another area, but they also have this problem because everything is a little bit out of balance. But especially women are asking, am I good enough? Am I strong enough? Am I able to do it? Am I allowed to do it? Is the message I have, does it have enough value to share it? Will others like that? Will others like me? These are responses of the collective trauma that we still do have, and we're still dealing with because of all the suppression, of all the suffering that women had to face in the last centuries.
Exactly. And there is so much pressure in all fronts. Like, also when we want to share a message that is more intuitive, and when we are not able to rationalize it, it's like, will they tell me that I'm crazy? Because we were told for many years that we were crazy if we would channel a message, even if it's super powerful, but it logically maybe doesn't make that much sense. But if you take a look, like a deeper look, then it does, or it connects more like heart to heart. So all this questioning plus beauty standards. Like some men just like go there. Like I always see that, and I always say that on stage. If you check the TED Talks, like some people like just go there with their sneakers and then with a black t-shirt and denim, and that's it. And then for women, it's still, I don't know if it's expected or we are pushing ourselves to wear the laser and the heels and the makeup and that, and it's like an extra layer of pressure of how we look. Well, the focus of why we are putting our message out there should be the wisdom in the message, not on how we look. But we still have this freaking pressure, and like how our hair and then the makeup and then this. So all that, another layer of complexity to us putting ourselves out there.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's also a huge part of this trauma, because if you look backwards, the only real visible value a woman had was her beauty. That's why also many women are so afraid of getting old, of getting wrinkles, of getting gray hair, because the beauty standard is to be young and without any mark in your face, whatever. It feels to them they are losing their value, because that's what the society made women believe for so many years, centuries, that the value is the beauty. And we are still suffering from that. We do. And even if we are conscious about it, if we know that, we still feel it collectively.
Yeah, exactly. Wow. Yeah, no, I can talk about this topic for hours, and I just want to bring an anecdote that I was in Mexico, and I went into it's like a pharmacy, but it's also like a dermatology pharmacy. So like it's huge. So I went to get something, but like with my mom, like some medicine. So that was our focus. We went. But on the way there was a lady who approached me. Clearly she was selling some beauty products, and she was like, "Oh, yeah, for those you can remove those stains." And she started to point out all the imperfections I had and how she had the solution, right? But without that, you will look super beautiful. I have this and that and that. I never even saw them. until she started to point everything that she could sort out. Of course, that's for selling, but we keep listening that all the time, like what we need to buy, what we need to get, all the treatments and stuff. And it's like, of course, that's like a marketing technique. And in the capitalist world, they like for them it's really profitable that we don't love ourselves, so then
Yeah,
they
they
can
made
sell
a
shit.
they made a huge deal out of it by making us staying in our complexes.
Yeah.
Like it's like one of the I could also talk a lot of it, but about it, but
Yeah.
if you see how much money these industries make every year with hair dye, with makeup, with clothes, like even this counts to it, right? Even if you get out of a complex and say, okay, I just dress myself how I feel good with, how I feel beautiful with, there's nothing wrong about you know having a nice hairstyle, doing a braid because you like it. There's nothing
Yeah.
wrong about that. I
Yeah.
also needed some time to understand that I'm also allowed to dress myself beautiful, because I was before many years in kind of a boycott. So I really just dressed up in hoodies and jeans or jogging trousers because I didn't want to fulfill this expectation that society
Yeah.
had being beautiful dressed as a lady. And I think the reality or the sane line lays in between. We can enjoy ourselves making ourselves beautiful if we like, if it's something that we enjoy, if it's something that expresses ourselves. For example, I really do love your t-shirt. I just see it halfway, but I really love
It's
the
so hippie.
colors. Yeah, I love
Yeah.
colors that blend into like each other. So that's beautiful. If that's something that I like, that you like, of course you should wear it. But it shouldn't be something that society expects from us all the time. If I
Yeah.
feel like a baggy jeans today with a pullover or a hoodie, that's fine. Like that's fine too.
And then we got into this topic because of the the camera or showing up. Again, it's like showing up, and I really don't see like any men being concerned about their skin, how it looks in camera, and their double chin, they discover it with a beard, or these kind of things. And I think we should put that aside and just focus on the quality of our message, and again,
Definitely.
our wisdom, our inner wisdom, and going beyond all these ego traps. So that's kind of the point of this.
Yeah, definitely. Though I have to say, like, men are suffering in another way. Like, they
Yes,
may not suffer from asking themselves if their skin is clean enough or their hair is greasy or whatever. What they're caring about is what other men, especially men, think about them. Their way
financially.
of financially,
Yeah.
their way of acting. If especially man is not really allowed, speaking from society, to share his feelings,
Yeah.
to show his feelings. So he has to suppress other sides to fit into the society.
Oh,
So men and women are suffering currently equally, just in another way.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. Yeah, I love that acknowledgement, and thank you for bringing it. Yeah, definitely. Well, I'll start wrapping up, and I want to create this space if you want to share anything else, your own journey, and especially for the ones who are listening us, for the ones who are watching, and they need a little inspiration. Go beyond these ego traps of, I will start with 5 followers, my hair looks messy, like go beyond that, and like really focus on the people that you are helping, the impact you're having, and the long-term business you're building. Any words of inspiration, encouragement for them?
A great issue I had, and that's more common, I'm sure I'm not the only one, is that I had this sense of perfection. So I always want to, before I published anything, and this started from my website, from an email address that shouldn't have any other domain than my own, or an Instagram over everything I did, I was like super perfectionist. I wanted to be at a point where I'm probably being, after 3 years of being self-employed, having experience with YouTube, having experience in Instagram and everything, having experience in recording. So if it comes to this, I would have never posted anything because there's still always still something that could be better according to our ego. And I think one of my greatest learnings to being able to keep on publishing, making my content, is to accept the fact that the content I have now, of course, doesn't have the same quality like it will have in 3, 5, or 10 years. And even then, I might sit reading my content, listening to my content, and think, I think that could be better. So we are waiting for this inner feeling that now it is good and now I am ready and now I can go. But this feeling might not come, at least not in the beginning. So if we wait for it, we will never start. So it is super important to just start, maybe to give yourself a specific time or a specific day. Like I'm right now changing my working rhythms according to my menstrual cycle. So I am having 1 week for content creation. I'm having 1 week for my finances and organization and everything. I'm having 1 week for my business. And so if that week is done, there should be something I'm able to post, to publish. Of course, sometimes, especially in the beginning, everything is a little bit messy. So, for example, this cycle which I had, I started a lot of content and I have many, like some things in row, but I didn't make it to do the final step. Also here we have to be loving with ourselves. Of course, I would have loved to finish all these 3 bigger things for YouTube and publish them. But I couldn't, and that's okay as well. I will not die from it.
Yes, yeah. But so then, Chris, can you tell us a little bit about which, in your experience, is the best part or the best week to create content records, actually? Because recording is like kind of putting yourself out there when it's with video mostly. So just for others, if they are not familiarized with the cycles, so we have 4 cycles. I don't know exactly the words of each, but it's like before your period, during your period, and then is it before you're ovulating or once you're ovulating?
Yeah, during the ovulation and then afterwards. And there's a model that's called like the season model. It should be in English, should be called like the season model, which means that you connect every of these periods inside your cycle to a season of the year. So, for example, when you have your period, that's the winter season. You're kind of resting, you need more rest. You're more introvert. You might prefer staying with yourself or your beloved ones, not going outside. You might not feel the wish to record a video podcast or something, because that's the winter. Everything is more calm, more quiet, more introvert, more reflective. So in my case, I use this time for really reflection, to learn and to invest in myself. So I might take here a wellness day. I have a rule for myself, usually that I have one time in my cycle, I have a wellness day. So I maybe go to a sauna or spend a day with a friend doing really everything very calm, very quiet, doing more meditation, making a walk outside, really taking one time a month all the pressure from me. And that's usually during the winter time, or I try to put it during the winter time. As I said, this model should be a guide, but it shouldn't be super strictly done, because that will also put stress on yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
So
okay, so we have the winter, which is when you are in your period.
When you're in your period, then comes the spring. So that's after your period. Here we usually start to get more connecting with others again. We start to flower. We start to feel the energy again. We start to go out to to feel our purpose again and to go out into the world. Then we have the summer, that's the time around the ovulation. Then we are in our highest energy. We are also physically, that's the time where we're the strongest, like that's measurable. So in that time, we might feel, I don't know, more desires to go on for partying, to meet with friends, to do videos, content, and everything. And we could also accept in this time of the cycle if there's a misunderstanding, if there's a fight maybe with our beloved ones, or if something didn't work out as well, we are able to just say, okay, we try again, because there's this power, I would say there's a little bit more of this male energy. And then we have the fall, the autumn, right in front of our cycle again, where we also feel again how our energy is decreasing, how we're getting more introvert again, how we start to feel that we should take everything a little bit slower, a bit easier.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then we come to the winter again. It's super nice. It's not a model I created. That's something I found. So I could really recommend to everybody, even to men, because it might be interesting for them as well, because they will understand their girlfriends, their family members in a better way if they understand that a woman is more related to cycles than a man is. That's definitely valuable for men as well, but for a woman, definitely for her business, for her lifestyle, it's super valuable.
Yeah.
So the winter for me is the like the learning time, the studying time, the reflection time, the time where I take care of myself. Then I have the springtime for me is business time. I maybe try to get some corporations here. I may be trying to get new clients here. I do maybe do some strategies of my products or services. So doing some investigation on the market, on my potential clients. What is it which I can serve best, or what is it in my expertise that people need most? So everything which is related around business is in that week in springtime, so the second week of the cycle. My summertime is for my content creation, because
Cool.
I felt that this was really the hardest part for me, to go out to share my voice. Right now, I'm feeling that it changes a little bit. Part is getting easier and the business part is getting a little bit harder. So I might change that and putting the business part in the third week in the summer, and putting the content creation part in my spring.
Wow, I love it.
Starts to feel a little bit more natural for me. So like everybody's flexible, right? So as you see, things might change. Yeah, and then I have the autumn, and for me that's everything around finances, administration, whatever. So everything which is the part of the business most of us do not really like, but at least you can do it with yourself mostly, and you don't go outside. So that feels more natural for me to do it in my fall time.
Perfect. Beautiful. Oh, thank you for the explanation. I love it. Yeah, and I agree that I try not to schedule a lot of recordings or meetings during for me it's more the autumn, the one that I am the most like, don't look at me, like I want to be in a cave, like really. Sometimes I'm even I work from my bedroom, like with the curtains closed, and I'm just like, doing the work that doesn't require a lot of people. Well, I just love to work with my closest people during that time, because of course I still have clients and all that, but yeah, with new people I need energy. So and I should say also, when it's like more selling or talking about your services or something, that's also a little bit more challenging when it's new. For me, when it's new people, I'm not that familiar, or going to network events like in person. Yeah, that's also we need some summer energy for
Yeah,
that.
summer or springtime, yes,
Yeah,
definitely. Mm.
beautiful. Well, Chris, thank you so much for sharing this. It was so beautiful. I don't know if you have anything else you want to share with others.
Mm. Just what I maybe also mentioned before, but saying again, like it's important to not wait until we feel ready, because that point might never come.
Yeah,
And it's not the thing that that decides if it's time or if it's not time.
yeah,
So we should definitely start before we feel ready,
yeah, exactly.
and
Yeah,
everything
it's
will
like
come.
when are you going to call yourself a writer? Because now I'm on it on this writing a book. Now it's like I know I cannot call myself a writer. It's like, well, if you're writing every day and you will publish a book, you're a writer. I mean, you won't call yourself a writer until you write a book. So, but then how do you start it without being a writer? Like, it's like the chicken and the egg.
Yeah,
Like, just get
yeah,
going, and probably if you will publish that at your, yes, hopefully I will publish that at my 32 years. So that's the book of Ali with the wisdom of a 32-year Ali. But then if I
no,
publish something else at 34, 37, 30, whatever, it will reflect and it will capture every stage of me. And then maybe when I will be 50, then I will read back the first one. I will be like, that's so cute. But I will see what I was thinking when
and
I
it
was
will
that age.
And it will still help so many people, because the
Yeah,
thing is that we only see sometimes ourselves and the point that we are and the flaws that we still have.
yeah,
But there are so many other people, they might have other flaws that
yeah,
we don't have. And
exactly.
so like we can learn from everybody. This is also a thing that I find super important. We mastered some terms, some issues that others
Yeah,
didn't.
yeah,
But they master mastered already some issues that we haven't, so we can learn from everybody. And
exactly.
it's super interesting to know you're writing a book. I'm very curious. I'm definitely going to buy it, so
It's gonna be in Spanish, but it's amazing
that's
that you you
that's
you can
okay.
understand it. So yeah,
I have also
yeah.
Spanish books. Yeah, I'm practicing. Yeah, like topics that are more specific. So I still might have to look here, there, a word, but there's no issue with that. I will definitely buy it, and I'm happy to know. Do you want to share already what it is about, or it's a secret?
Maybe some hints that it's related to what I am doing right now, which is focusing on women, how to activate our voice as women, and especially Latino women
Mm-hmm.
who went through all these limiting beliefs of you gotta be quiet, you gotta be, don't disturb others. But I think it's in general, as you said, like because you also come from like, and if I think about it, like, oh no, German women are like super liberated and all that, and probably that's also, yeah, just like something we believe from the other side of the world, that we are not that much in touch with you guys. But for me, I used to think that, yeah, Germans, Belgians and French women, that you are like so free and like to do whatever you want and all this. And I feel it's still too new.
It might be different, but what I could say is maybe the women here are more extrovert, but they might be even more outside of their female energy, adapting to the
Yeah,
male energy to fit into that
exactly.
expectations
Oof.
they have here. And that's maybe sometimes even worse, or at least same thing. So they are also out of their female energy. Other issues like we don't, as Germans, we don't call ourselves ill for work. Nearly nothing. Like we if you do, it's like you're weak.
You're weak. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh my God. Yeah, that's crazy, really. And my favorite author is Elizabeth Gilbert, the Eat, Pray, Love
Mm-hmm.
author. But in her book, Big Magic, well, that's one of my favorite books. But she says, like, we have this revolution of women who are now, like, empowered, and this is amazing. But we need a next revolution of the relaxed women. So now we
Yeah.
have the empowered women who are actually embodying manly energy, but now we need a next revolution of empowered but relaxed women who don't even
Yeah.
need to, like act like men and speak loud and be a shark to be respected, because just by being in their feminine, they are also being respected. So
Yeah.
I was like mind blown. That's so new for me. That's like a really new thought that it's coming to me, and I really want to surround myself with women, like you, and like empowered but calm, like calm, confident.
Mhm.
So that's beautiful, and that's beautiful that you shared a little bit of German culture and how is it for women. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's also nice. Well, yeah, we can talk a lot
Yes.
about these topics. We love these ones, but thank you so much, Chris, for opening up, for sharing. And I will leave in the description box your contact in case anyone wants a session with you as a holistic coach, especially when I think you focus a lot also on like stress management with all the holistic techniques you have. And then you can offer the sessions in German, English, and Spanish.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like I focus a lot on the somatic part, on the psyche part of somatic illnesses. So
Yeah.
according to me, behind every physical illness, there is a psychological issue, and that's where medicine still fails, but is starting to explore, is that our physical health depends on so much greater parts than we could imagine on our mental, psychological, or soulful health. And that's the part like where I go. That's why I love meditations or self-hypnosis, because if we tell our body, even if it's having some issues right now, if we tell our body that we love it, that energy is flowing, that it's healing itself every second, every minute, and specified on the issues, on the mental issues we have that may be created or help to create the physical pain, problem, illness, then healing can really take place. And that's the cherry on the cake that sometimes is missing, even in very good therapies, is this part. And it's crucial. According to me, it's crucial. Diet is super important. I also do a lot with diet, right? That's we are what we eat, we say in German, and it rhymes there. And sleep is important, movement is important.
Yeah.
But it's equally important to look on the beliefs we have, on our mental constructs we build
Yeah.
up in our life, on the things we tell ourselves every day. That's equally important.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Chris, for coming and for opening up and for sharing and bringing your
Thank you.
wisdom into
Thank you
this
so much for
space.
inviting me and giving me the space to share my message and to have such a beautiful conversation with you. I really enjoyed it a lot. Thank you so much. And thank you also for your work, that you're empowering women like me, like yourself, in this world to find their voice and to share it, because that's such an important process that we could be part of.
Gracias, querida.
Gracias a ti.